Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Siti Aisyah. I'm a student of State Islamic University of Sultan Syarif Kasim Riau, majoring in English Education Department. I'm in 4F class. Okay, in this video, I would like to share the material from the first group about the differences among approaches, method, and techniques. And the first one is approaches to language teaching. Approaches is something that reflect on certain model of research paradigm. There are 9 approaches used in language learning process. The first is grammar translation approach. Grammar translation approach is used to teach classical languages in elementary school to senior high school. And the second one is direct approach. Direct approach is the reaction of grammar translation approach that used in university. Next is reading approach. From the name, we know that reading approach is focused on reading when the teacher is teaching. And the next is audiolingualism approach. Audiolingualism approach is focused on listening and speaking when the teacher is teaching. And next is oral situational approach. Oral situational approach focus in speaking, oral communication. The next is cognitive approach. Cognitive approach is the opposite of audiolingualism approach. That audiolingualism approach focus on listening and speaking, but cognitive approach focus on reading and writing. The next is affective humanistic approach. When the teacher use this approach, affective humanistic, the teacher will divide the students into groups or peers. And the next is comprehension-based approach. This comprehension-based approach focuses on listening comprehension when the teacher is teach the student. And the last is communicative approach. This communicative approach is assumed as the goal of language teaching. Okay, after we talking about approaches and language teaching, we talk about the method or teaching method. Method, it is a term of pedagogy that main focus on effective presentation of subject matter to have mastery over it. And there are 2 teaching methods. The first is non-participatory method and the second one is participatory method. Non-participatory method is the teacher master the subject and share to the students, and the students just receive the material from the teacher. So we can say that this is one-way communication. And the second one is participatory method. There is interaction between the teacher and the student, or maybe discussion in order to start language teaching learning process. After we talking about approaches, after we talking about method, teaching method, we talking about technique. Technique is implementation. Implementation meaning that something that actually take place in language teaching or learning in the classroom. Technique often called a procedure because the position of technique is implementation phase. There are 4 techniques used in language teaching. The first is silent way, and the second one is the audiolingual method. The third is total physical response, and the fourth is natural method. So I think that's all the material that I can understand from the first group. And thanks for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.